Chinese agents are flooding the US with weed, and everywhere they set up their illegal grow operations, they come with horrible crimes, like slavery. So why won't the US government stop it? Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Matt Gnezda, filling in today for Chris Chappell, who is currently undercover fighting international drug cartels. Now, if you've been following this channel, then you're probably aware that China has been waging a drug war on the US, especially with fentanyl. It's become the leading cause of deaths in the US for people 18 through 45. But Chinese drug cartels are not just pushing fentanyl, they're also making marijuana illegally directly on US soil. And even if you smoke weed, you do not want this weed. A couple years ago, we did an episode about how China is starting to take over America's cannabis industry by exploiting marijuana legalization in some states. If you want to learn more about that, click on the link below. But it's getting especially ridiculous now in rural Maine, where Chinese marijuana grows are taking over. Now, I'm guessing you don't often think about rural Maine. In fact, you might even be wondering, isn't all of Maine rural? I think it is. Anyway, what I do know is that the rural Maine police are not doing much to stop these illegal grows. It's become increasingly clear that the CCP itself has a hand in it.
We've tied these groups directly to organized crime out of China that are also linked to not just high-grade marijuana black market trafficking, but to homicides, labor trafficking, sex trafficking, worldwide money laundering. And we've also tied some of these exact same farms that I just described to people who are linked to the Chinese government.
And it's incredibly widespread. In the largest county in California, Chinese nationals operate nearly every illegal indoor marijuana farm. Now, some state governments are aware of what's going on. In Oklahoma, for example, the state attorney general has created a task force targeting illegal cannabis grow operations. In addition, since 2021, Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics agents have shut down more than 1,000 illegal marijuana farms, made more than 200 arrests, and seized over 700,000 pounds of black market marijuana. The Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics also reports having 3,000 of nearly 7,000 licensed marijuana farms under investigation. But in Maine, illegal cannabis grow operations are growing. According to a memo leaked in July to the Daily Caller, there are 270 suspected Chinese illegal marijuana grow operations in Maine worth an estimated $4.37 billion. And according to an unclassified memo from the Department of Homeland Security to Maine law enforcement agencies, the illicit grows are operated by Asian transnational criminal organizations. The Maine Wire did its own investigation and identified more than 100 properties that are part of a sprawling network of illicit Chinese cannabis operations. All the properties were purchased by single men and women from out of state, primarily Brooklyn and Staten Island, over the past 3 years, after Maine legalized the sale of recreational pot in 2020. Some of these grows are even near schools and daycare centers. But you don't have to look up public records to know an illegal Chinese cannabis operation when you see one. I'll show you what to look for. So, next time you're driving with your family down the road in rural wherever, you can play punch buggy, but with illegal grow operations. Take this house in Fairfield, Maine. It was purchased in 2021 by a man who goes by Juan Lin. And now it's decked out with a lot of shady features. The windows have been completely covered with a type of foil foam board used to keep out ambient light. That's to keep young marijuana plants from turning into hermaphrodites, which makes them less potent. You can also see active heat pumps, those big black machines, which are commonly used to cool grow rooms and control humidity. Plus, there's electrical equipment that you'd almost never see installed on residential properties. The house didn't have anything like that before it was sold to Juan Lin in 2021. But even if you didn't see the shady equipment, you could tell by the smell. Because even from a block away, it smells like the parking lot of a Waffle House at 2 in the morning. Now, you might drive past one of these grow sites and identify it, but still think, what's the big deal? Marijuana is legal in a lot of states, right? Yes, but what's not legal is forcing immigrants to be slaves at your illegal grow farm. Last year in California, raids on black market cannabis farms uncovered widespread human trafficking. One worker was tricked and ended up at one of these farms. She said she left her 8-year-old son behind in New York and that the trailer where she'd been forced to sleep is very dirty and very messy. So Do you really want to smoke weed grown by human trafficking victims living in filthy conditions? Now, U.S. officials are aware of many of these illegal grow farms. So why are so many of them still operating? It's a pretty stupid reason, which I'll tell you after the break. Welcome back. Thanks to news coverage of illegal Chinese marijuana grows in rural Maine, there's bipartisan pressure on the U.S. Department of Justice to shut them down. But the federal government's response to illegal Chinese marijuana grows has been lackluster, to say the least. Attorney General Merrick Garland has yet to publicly respond to Maine leaders' pleas, even though they were made back in August. According to the Maine Wire, state law enforcement and the feds have struggled to clamp down on illegal Chinese marijuana farms in Maine. It's not as if they don't have any leads. Government authorities know where a lot of them are. Former Waldo County Sheriff Jeff Trafton said he met with FBI agents in 2021 at the FBI's request and shared information about several Chinese marijuana grow sites. But he hasn't heard from them since. One of the problems is that cracking down on marijuana is not as high of a priority as cracking down on deadlier drugs like fentanyl. Marijuana legalization is reinforcing this trend. According to Police Chief Stanley Bell of Clinton, Maine, because marijuana has been legalized in Maine, it's just not an interest item. The confidence is low in being able to get a case approved or passed through. Basically, none of us are really doing any marijuana enforcement anymore. Even though illegal Chinese marijuana grows are obviously violating Maine's laws by not doing things by the book, law enforcement is hamstrung by confusion over jurisdiction and enforcement. Police Chief Bell said, "I think the biggest deterrent to enforcement is we don't know where the civil enforcement ends and criminal enforcement begins." But it's worse than that. Local police said they refer cases they learn about to the Office of Cannabis Policy, OCP. But the OCP told the Maine Wire they refer cases they learn about to local police. Great, so they're playing marijuana hot potato. The OCP claims that it has no authority to police or regulate illegal marijuana grows, whether operated by Mainers or Asian transnational criminal organizations. And when asked for a statement, the Maine Office of Cannabis Policy and the Maine Drug Enforcement Agency gave the exact same answer, that they work closely with federal and local partners to determine the best course of action to disrupt and dismantle illegal drug activities. Which sounds a lot like, it's not our problem. And that is a pretty stupid reason for not cracking down. Because again, it's not just about illegal marijuana. It's also about human trafficking. A lot of these growers are taking poor Chinese immigrants and forcing them to live and work in terrible conditions. So if you think slavery is bad, maybe do something about it? Well, some Maine lawmakers have proposed 2 bills that would bar non-citizens from Maine's cannabis industry and ramp up enforcement against Asian transnational criminal organizations. But Maine Democrats opposed both bills and shot them down. It seems that there's no coherent agreement on what to do about illegal Chinese weed. But make no mistake, this is something that Americans need to tackle. Because as long as the drug laws go unenforced, even in places where marijuana is legal, people suffer while the CCP makes a profit. And like illegal Chinese weed, the Marxist absolute materialistic worldview has spread everywhere. Karl Marx said religion was the opiate of the masses. And when was he ever wrong about anything? Well, find out in the latest episode of our new show, Deep Thoughts While Gaming. Atheism got it wrong, according to Okami. And if you like the show, please hit that orange button to support us on Patreon. Your direct support is the main way we fund this show, and all the people who do the research, write, and edit videos. So once again, I'm Matt Gnezda. Thanks for watching China Uncensored.